there. I want to talk to you about the fact that it is never too late. And I know that may sound cliche-ish, but if we be honest with ourselves, at one point or another, we've all told ourselves that it was too late for blank. You fill in the blank. You said it to yourself about something or another that it was too late. And I'm here to tell you that it really is never too late, you know, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't always thought about things like that. I haven't. Like, I got my doctorate degree when I was 29 years old. And at that time, I know it sounds crazy, but I felt so old. I felt so over the hill. I felt exhausted from learning, if I be completely honest with you. And I promised myself, Laporte, we're not going back to school. I'm not going back to school. I'm not doing this to myself anymore. Well, fast forward, you know, I got one certification after another, and it's because, you know, there were just so many things I was interested in: process improvement, change management, HR. And so I really was excited about the challenge of learning these new things. It just invigorated me over and over again. And guess what? It still does. The difference is, back then, you know, I started questioning myself, like, Laporte, are you like addicted to learning? Like, this is a problem. Enough is enough, right? And I started questioning, is this a bad thing to be spending so much time learning? Should I be doing other stuff? Well, now fast forward and I look at all of the change that is going on, right? I mean, I've always seen change, you know, but when people aren't used to change of this magnitude, the pandemic and the Russia ridiculousness and the different unpredictabilities in the housing market or stock market or what have you, whatever changes you're looking at today, one thing that you're noticing is that they're moving very quickly. And so when we're looking for leaders, what are we looking for? You know, before you're looking for, say, a chief technology officer, you want the person who is the most techiest, savviest, and you still want that. But the first and foremost thing you want in most of these leadership roles is, can this person lead change? Can this person adapt and change? You know, can this person innovate in a changing world? And that's what it's all about today, right? And if you're a leader, you know this, you know? And so today, and not even just recently, but I've learned to embrace being a continuous learner. And when we look at the greatest leaders, and not even the greatest leaders, when we look at leaders who are able to survive this pandemic and these current times, one thing I would assume they all have in common is that they are continuous learners. Because that is the only way you can adapt. That is the only way that you can lead change, if you're continuously learning. And why is that? Because the world is constantly changing around us. So there's no way all the tools that you've learned 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago are going to equip you for what you're facing today without being a continuous learner. And it's never too late. It's never too late to learn, and never too late to achieve what you want to achieve. And this is the issue that I have with artificial deadlines. You know, a lot of times we may set these deadlines for ourselves. Okay, I'm going to get this degree by 25 years old, just whatever the age is. Or I'm going to accomplish, you know, earning X amount of dollars by, you know, 40 years old, whatever age, whatever deadline you have. I'm going to change this behavior in 2 weeks. I'm going to pick up this new behavior in 4 weeks. And that is my deadline. Well, what I tell you is that deadlines are dangerous, because once the deadline happens, then what? Then you say, oh, it's too late. It's too late for me to change that behavior. It's too late for me to stop smoking, cursing, being mean. It's too late for me to get that degree. Absolutely, it's not too late. There's nothing wrong with goals. Goals are fantastic. Goals are great. But deadlines are dangerous. So you want to use deadlines very wisely, because most of the time when we have a deadline, it can be adjusted to accomplish what we need to accomplish, what we're here, the purpose that we're serving to accomplish. So as long as God has something for you to accomplish, it's never too late. I don't care if you're 89. And the last thing I want to share, as far as why it's not too late, why it's important for you to not give up, because your life is about impact. It's not measured in just these years, even though we know when we see, not to be morbid or anything, tombstones or what have you, the main thing that we see is the year that they were born and the year that they died. Well, it's far more to you, far more to anyone than just what's behind or between those two digits, far more than that. What impact are you making? You could be 90 years old and make the most amazing, astounding impact on this world, on other people within a day, within a month, than you may have done in the entirety of 90 years. I have no idea what your impact is to make, but I do know that if it's meant for God to have you to make that impact, then it's not too late. And He's not measuring whether or not you're going to make that impact based upon how many years that you've been on this earth or how many times you've moved that deadline. So I'm not telling you to move a deadline unnecessarily, to push it out unnecessarily. I'm not telling you to be a slacker, but what I am telling you is that if you've created an artificial deadline, if you created a deadline period, it is not too late for you to accomplish what is meant for you to accomplish, what is meant for you to do, for you to get. So I hope you remember that.